I know there was questions. There's a couple questions posted, so we could just answer those if nobody comes on to ask live.
Yeah. So we're recording, and this is just our Q&A session. So we have some questions written down just from where people posted. So we thought we would just start there. And then if anyone on the call has questions that you want to ask, unmute yourselves or ask them in the chat, and we'll kind of go from there.
Yay.
But okay, so first question I saw in the chat was just, do you guys post a specific time on your feed? And I thought maybe Brooke, Christina, we can just kind of round robin it. So
Yeah,
love it.
That works.
we might have the same answers too.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think the thing with Instagram, so this, again, this is just on, is there a certain time to post on your feed? I think that the algorithms, Instagram changes all the time. So what we say tonight may change in like 6 months. So don't like take this as like the only way. But I pay attention to, I have a business account and I personally pay attention to what my insights say. So if you've never checked out your insight, well, if you don't have a business account, or what's the new account called?
Like a
Creator or something?
creator,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that gives you insights too.
Yeah.
I pay attention to that, and I will take a glance weekly at what are the days and times that people are most like watching my stories or like post or liking my post. But recently I've been kind of trying different strategies just to kind of see what works. Sometimes it's late at night, sometimes it's nap time for my boys sort of thing midday. But I look at insights, but I also trial and error too. So like, you can always, it's weird to me because I've posted like when my insights say that it's super popular to post, but I get nothing. And then I post at a time when there's not a lot of people and I get more. So I think it's just trying kind of trial and error. What about you guys, Christina and Brooke?
So for me, when I go into my insights, I wish they gave me like all this juicy information on the best time to post, but my niche loves technology and is on kind of like the same amount all day long. So I don't have like an insight that's like, boom, post at this time. So I really just play around and post at different times. And I've heard on another call once that people are always in different time zones. So it's nice to post at different times because you're going to get people at different hours of the day. So really for me, it's just like, can I get a post up? And if I can, great, get it up. I just don't like harp on the time. Otherwise I'd probably never get posts up and I'd be like, oh, maybe tomorrow, oh, maybe tomorrow. So like for me, done is better than perfect.
Yeah. I'll be totally honest. I don't know. It's just my personality. Like I like to like check things off more that like for me, posting seems like this like bigger task. And I'd rather just be like, I'm going to send 20 invites because then it's, to me, it's like, that's an easy thing to check off my list. So what's the word I'm looking for? I like wait all day to post. And like, I just posted just now because I didn't like, I'm better when I don't have a lot of time to post because it just makes me like done is better than perfect. Cause otherwise I'll like overthink it. So I usually am posting at like 8 or 9 at night because I'm running out of time and I have to get it done type of a thing. Yeah. I'll be honest. That's how if I look at my insights too, it's like, it's pretty similar across the board. It says 3 p.m. is like a little bit higher, but it's not that much of a difference that I think it would make too much of a difference. So for me, yeah, I post at night because that's when I can force myself to get it
done. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of all similar. It's like you can go by insights, you can go by your schedule, but also just test things out too. Do what works for you and don't stress out yourself at all. Mm-hmm. Okay, so certain time of day for stories. So this was a question, maybe Robin had it, I'm not sure, but do you guys post your stories like all at once during the day or do you post throughout the day? So for me personally, I do kind of batch. So I kind of do timestamps, like I'm up in the morning, going to bed or like end the night. And then I record things, but I also have a hard rule. Like I don't spend a lot of time on my phone in front of my kids. So I would kind of batch upload throughout the day, but I don't go too big of gaps. However, recently in quarantine, I've been going like 7 or 8 hours sometimes simply because life. but it doesn't diminish like the value I think I'm posting. It's just that it's a little bit longer sometimes. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just you have to figure out what works with your schedule, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree with that. Like, there's times where like I'll be up since like 3 a.m. with our new dog, and I don't
noticed.
I don't upload anything just because like my mental capacity at that time just isn't there to do it. And like I'll hop on Zoom with girls to work out, and they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were awake because you didn't put up your tea." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that'll be up in like an hour." Like, man, when it gets up, it gets up. So I don't harp on time either. I try to upload in batches. Like I'll take a few pictures throughout my day, my morning, and then when I get a chunk of time that I can sit and actually write what I want on my stories and make sure like I like the song or I like the graphic or I like whatever's on there, when I can take the time to focus on it is when I do it. When I was in the beginning of my business, I always thought like it was weird when people uploaded later at night. Or
nobody
like
pays attention though. Nobody's like, oh, I'm watching this at 11 p.m. and she's talking about her breakfast. Like nobody cared. Like no. It doesn't matter. I'm the same way. I post, I honestly do my stories like once a day. I take like my stories and my videos throughout the day, and I honestly do it at night. It's kind of like a day recap. And then I have, like, so during the day I'm collecting the information, and because I found too, just maybe in the past couple months, I've been focusing more on my stories. Like, I don't know, I felt like I was kind of getting into this, like, I just fell out of love with doing stories. It felt like more like a chore. And so I started, like Christina said, I started taking more time and like really doing better ones. And, you know, some people might think like that's a waste of time, but for me, it's more meaningful. I don't know. I just get more, I don't know. I like it better that way. So I do take the time to make them a little bit more fun and interesting. And so I don't find that I need to, you know, rush to get them done, and it is what it is. So yeah, you just got to find what works for you.
Yeah.
I've been a coach for 5 years, and I just started doing that like a couple months ago. You know, you kind of just figure it out as you go.
And it totally changes in this business. Like if you asked me when I was working in the school as a school nurse, like my upload time was my commutes, like my commute to work, if I got a lunch break, and my commute home, and then maybe at night. So it really just fluctuates with life.
Yeah. And when I worked full time, I was blackout hours. Like I had a lot of work people that followed me, and I didn't want to be on my stories a lot. So I was like 10 a.m. to like 4 p.m. no stories. So you have to, you just don't compare your stories to someone else's because you don't know what their schedule is. Yeah, I see your question, Robin. Do you use the Plan app for loading up batches? For me, I use the Plan app just for layout, like visual pictures. I don't actually use the third-party app to load anything. I just do it myself. I know Instagram got kind of weird, or they were kind of, I know they put,
cracking down.
They were cracking down on like third-party apps. So I've used it more just to plan like what my feed looks like, and just I will like record videos and pictures, and then I'll kind of upload like at 12 o'clock when my kids eat lunch. I might upload like 6 stories, but they're throughout all morning maybe, just to kind of, so I'm not on my phone all the time. But then sometimes I want to be on my phone all the time because my kids are driving me crazy. So you gotta find what works for you. Okay. What?
Thank you.
Yeah, you have to, and it'll change. Like quarantine is weird. Like this is a weird time we're in. We're all just being used in different ways, and we have to figure out different schedules. So you have to kind of adjust with the times. And I think that's the same way how social media works. You have to just adjust with how social media changes. So another question we had, about sending like big numbers of invites, like how do you get X number of invites or follow-ups done in a day? So I think so for me specifically, I think this is different for every coach. Everyone has, just like we heard on multiple different national wake-up calls. I mean, what was it? 2 weeks ago, we heard about a newer coach who sends like 50 to 100 invites a day. And it's possible, yes, but you have to figure out what works for you. I cannot get out 50 or to 100 invites in a day. For me personally, I focus on, I know what number, I saw Christina in our group, you posted this earlier. Like I know, being in the business for the last 3 years, the number of invites I need to get in a week to get to the level or to get to the number of like hopefully Success Club points I need. And that changes too with like the times and holidays and everything else. So I do have a goal in mind, but I also focus on connecting with people too, because I want to always get eyes to my stories, because it's like, if you can get them to your stories and you're consistent, it's game on. Like I will show you the value of what I'm doing, but you got to get to my stories first. So I really like, before I ever message someone, I try and get them, like I try and engage with them first. But I do, like, I'm not, every day I don't have like a set amount of invites. I just, for the week, I kind of view it as like, I would like to get to this number, but if I spend my week connecting with people, then, you know, I understand that that could then lead to more people signing up in a couple weeks. This week for me was a very low personal volume week for me, but I know that like my hope is that this is going to lead to people signing up in the future, because I was working on connecting this week versus like signing people up, if that makes sense. What do you guys, Christina and Brooke, do?
When I listened to the wake up call, I wanted to like throw up. I'm like, that is not realistic. I'm like, who actually like does this many invites and who actually has the time?
I was gonna say, this is not all she does.
No, I don't know.
Like
I don't know how I don't know how she answers all those messages. I would lose my mind.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely don't agree. Exactly what Kelsey said. I have a set number I try to get in, but there's also weeks I go really hardcore and then weeks I lay off and connect and invite. Like when I'm marketing, like right now I'm saying my bootcamp enrollment and start date is May 4th. So you bet this week and last week was when I was connecting and inviting like crazy. But then I realized my mind needs a break. So I'll take days off and then go back to it again, because I can't constantly invite, otherwise I burn out. What Kelsey said, you'll find a number that works for you, but you'll also have months where, like me and Kelsey, we've been Match the Success Club or Success Partners for a long time, where there's months where we message each other and we're like, I'm at 300 invites and I haven't gotten one person. What the hell? We're like, it's okay, remember that was me last month. But then there's months where it just comes more seamlessly.
And 300 invites this month and you're at Success Club 0, like whatever, will lead to Success Club next month or the month after, I promise. Yeah. Like you just have to plant the seed and consistently show up.
Yep.
But it's hard when you want that automatic, like you want that to go through right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What about you, Brooke? How do you handle invites?
Honestly, I'm at SC20 this month, and this is the highest month I've had in a while, and I honestly haven't invited that much this month.
Love those months.
I haven't invited that much this month. You know, it just kind of, I'm reaping the benefits of having spent the time connecting with people. I connect with a lot of people. I just talk to people like we're, you know, new friends. Like I just talk to people and I connect, and I'm making sure I'm messaging people who are, answering my polls. Like even it has nothing to do with coaching. It's like, oh, I'm so glad that you feel this way too. I'm glad I'm not alone. Ha ha. You know, I'm just taking the time to do that. And that works for me. You can't compare yourself. Like sending 62 invites a day works for Kate Schultz. Like but I have no idea like how she is able to like maintain that and follow up with people. But I think she does a lot of cold invites. She doesn't really send, because she said before, she wouldn't respond well to like a forming message. So she doesn't do that herself. And so that also works for her. But if I were to get a cold invite, I wouldn't love that. So that's not something that I personally do. So again, it's just, trying out different things and seeing what I've sent cold invites before as I was, a newer coach trying to figure out what would work for me, what felt comfortable. And I realized that isn't what I want to do. But it doesn't mean it's wrong. So again, it just depends.
I love that you said that. I feel like if someone, I like Kate Schultz, if someone messages me, like, I'm like, what do you want? Like, just get to the point of what you're trying to get to. So like for me, like a mix of cold and warm, like because the people who watch me are different styles of people.
Yeah. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I love how you said forming like a bestie, because I was in the park today in my neighborhood, like face mask on, like 50 feet from these two girls, and I heard my name, Christina, screamed. And I was like, are they talking to me? And I look over and she's like, it's Kat. And I'm like,
That's happened to me before at Staples. She was like, it's Nayla. I was like, oh,
like I have like 70 cats. I don't know, not cats, animals, but I'm like, I don't know which one you are. And you have a face mask on. I'm like, come on, girl. And I'm like, I can't hear you. Let me come closer.
Did you know her?
Yes, it was someone who I went to nursing school with, but wasn't friends with. Like, she's just following me. She's like, I recognized your pants from your workout video today and your dog.
you're Insta famous.
Yeah, so, but she literally clearly acted like we were best friends.
Yeah.
It's really nice to spend the time.
Well, because we share so much, so people feel like they really know us. It's like with a celebrity,
Yes.
you feel like, but you connect with so many people that I don't necessarily know each person like they feel they know me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think, like, obviously we're all here because someone invited us and took the time to, however they invited us. But like, I don't know who said this to me before, but like when you stop viewing people as Success Club points, Mel and I were talking about this earlier. Like, I was talking to a girl who's like, was posting every day in our group and then stopped, and like come to find out like she's spiraling into depression. But like I was able to like connect with her because I'm, thinking of, like, I haven't seen you, like, you're not just a past Success Club point. Like, I want you to continue on. And it's like, I think when you change the mindset of like remembering that we're in this business, like, yes, we make money, but also like we get people to want to do this for life because we are so committed to them. And, I know that like when Brooke's my coach. So when I started, I knew that like if I spiraled out of control, Brooke would have been like beating down my door, like, are you okay? And so I think that that's what is refreshing, is knowing that people have this outlet, and especially right now, because it's crazy out there, like everyone is home and you just never know like what someone's mental state is. And so being that person for them, being like their strength for them, I think really helps. So yes, maybe you don't get paid this month, maybe you don't get paid next month, but can you imagine like when that person's ready to sign up? And then I promise you, if you're consistent, it starts to really like
I used to have a hashtag people not points.
Yeah, I love that.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay. Another question was how to get coaches to actively work the business. That's a tricky one.
I was going to say, that's a tough one. You can't want it for them.
What do you say? You can't lead the horse. You can lead the horse to water.
Horse to water.
But you can't make them drink it. I don't know. I mean, I think this is what Brooke taught me, that you just have to show up for your own journey. You have to lead from the front. You have to pour belief in people. Celebrate, Christina taught me, celebrate the small wins. Like, you just have to let people know that like this isn't rocket science. Like it's a business based on you sharing your journey. And you have to understand that it takes time to build the trust, but there's so much joy that comes from like doing the small things every day. Like it kind of feels like Groundhog Day just because we're in quarantine. But I promise you, when we get out of quarantine, like you're gonna maybe crave the time to like that you were pouring into your business when you had nothing else to do. So I think that you just have to continue to pour into your people. I've had like a whole team of coaches quit in like 2 weeks and like lost it all, like all this stuff. Like, you just have to dust yourself off, get back up, and remember that you just have to keep finding your people. But the people you do have, pour into them and kind of give them the confidence that they need, and just still rock your own journey, I think. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I agree. You can walk them to water. I can't make them drink. But something I like to do,
You can dunk them.
drink.
Damn it.
Something I like to do, like something tangible I like to do, is like slowly break someone out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So like in their stories, like maybe they've never shown up in their stories. So I'm like, why don't you post something related to your workout? I don't give a poop if it's just your sneakers. I don't care if it's just your mat sitting on the floor or your dumbbell. I don't care what it is. Just show me something that like in some way resembles your worked out. Maybe it's your Apple Watch, whatever it is. So I like slowly break people in. And then once I see them like slowly sharing a workout thing like consistently, that's just how my brain works. Like a workout is like my first proof of product. And then I'm like, okay, now show me something healthy you're eating every day this week. I don't care if it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever, just pick a meal and upload that. So I like to slowly give people challenges of like story uploads until like, and every time I see them doing it, like I watch them like a hawk. I'm like, yes, you shared a workout. Yes, you shared a meal. Like I cheer them on as they like slowly build up the routine of posting in their stories. And that's where I like love to start my people. I feel like that's where I started. I didn't start with inviting. I didn't start with hopping on team calls. I just started out falling in love with my journey and sharing my journey. So that's why I focus on that. And then usually after like, I feel like they've shown up a consistent amount that people kind of get what they're doing, I encourage them to run a free group because I feel like there's no strings attached to a free group. So like whatever happens, happens. So
you do invite too because it's free. You know,
yeah, exactly.
Meeting, I think.
Yes. And it's just even if no one shows up or however many people they run together, they're at least going to be in there and they can figure out how to schedule a post, how to come up with content, how to do something on their own. That's not me showing like me doing it for them. So I don't know. That's kind of my transition of getting someone to slowly start this business. But then after that, it's up to them.
Yeah.
And I think it's important how Kelsey said, like at one point she had like her whole team quit in like 2 weeks, but that's an important reminder of keeping blinders and not focusing on another coach's success and how fast their team is building, because that can happen to anyone at any point. Like I remember, like I said, me and Kelsey have worked closely together for a while. And I remember when she hit diamond, I'm like, damn it. She beat me. She's at diamond. I'm not there. Like you go through that whole process in your head. Obviously I love her wholeheartedly and I'm happy for her, but we all have that mental thing of why isn't that me? And then you'll see her team drop down. You'll see my team go up. You'll see my team go down and her team go up.
It took me 2 years, I think, to find Kelsey. I think it took me about 2 or 3 years to find Randy. Like, it takes a while. It took Annie 2 years to get me on board, you know? So you can't just say, like, you know, I'm going to give it 6 months or a year. You just have to be committed. You have to be in the mindset that you're going to do this with or without people, so that when it is right, the time is right for them, you're still going to be around to help them. I was like, what is that? All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off I have to go pee and then go to my other call. But thanks for doing this.
Thanks for hopping on with us, Brooke.
Okay, I'll talk soon. Bye.
No, I was going to say, I think it really goes down to just, I was talking about this in like a Coach Basics with my team today, like this fixed mindset and growth mindset, which we talk about, like a lot of top coaches talk about. But like when I see other coaches do better than me, I literally was the same way as Christina. I'm like, no way. Like I'm like super happy for you, but I'm like so insanely competitive and jealous and like, you know, like all the emotions, right? But then at the same time, I'm like, girl, she just showed me it was possible. Like she's whatever, like, you know, and I think that sometimes I look at top coaches and I think, well, they have a personal assistant, they have no kids, they have whatever. You know what? Someone out there is doing something better than you who has circumstances that are worse than you. So I think that like you have to just change your mindset and figure out what works for you and just go from there. But no, I've been the same way. But I also think you have to have like joy in the journey too. So remember, like, I know Christina and I were like fighting, like we were both like going after this big goal last year and neither one of us got to it. But like it's crazy, like we have a chat named for it and none of us in the chat got to it, but like we literally got so much closer to our goal even though we didn't get to the goal. So I think there's like small wins you have to celebrate along the way too, which sometimes you forget about. But I don't know.
Yes. And there's like I'll go like however many months without signing one coach.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden I'll have a month where like 3 people join and I'm like, whoa, where'd you come from? Hold on. Like, I'm not ready for this. So just know like you might have those ebbs and everyone's gonna have ebbs and flows.
And I think it was in this group, maybe the first week, Annie's week, there's a call that we taught. It's a longer call. It was, I think, Jamie Ennis's husband did it. It's about volume, but he talks about like, don't look at your month week by week. Look at your month as a whole. So as you start to grow your business, like for me this week, I was looking, earlier today, I'm like, like my whatever volume is like, my personal volume like seems so low compared to last week, but don't look at like week by week because you go through ebbs and flows depending on, I'm focused on working on my team, this, whatever, like your focus is, but look at your months overall. That's where you like analyze your growth and things like that as you start to build your team. So don't get depressed or like, overwhelmed by like, okay, last week I did good, this week I didn't. Like, it's a week, guys. Like, we have the privilege of getting paid every week. You can't like compare, you can't be on every single week. You have to like grow your team and focus on different, clean your house, whatever you have to do in quarantine. But yeah. Anything else? I don't think we have any other questions. Oh, wait, sorry, I had to like, my internet connection got unstable. I had to drop off for a minute. I know, Robin, you had a question about coupon codes?
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how they work. So it's like a new customer, do they get the email with the promo codes and then they can give it to somebody, or who's all getting the promo codes, I guess, and how?
Where are you seeing the word promo code and learning about
Is
them?
it
That's my
like a
first
new
question.
coach, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know where I'd seen it. I think, well, one time a few months ago, I got an email saying that I had 3 of them, I think. And then I seen it, where did I see it? Sometimes I feel like I go through so much that I can't even remember where I seen it.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sometimes
it was a new
Beachbody
code.
does promo codes. Like if you do certain things in this business, they'll give you promo codes for the next month. So sometimes there are promotions like that. But sometimes you'll just see coaches who sneakily want to hit Success Club and they're not. So they'll pretend or just like give like a $10 gift card and call it a promo or something like that. So if it depends on when it is and what it is, would be my answer to that. I haven't seen any right now.
Okay, well, I wasn't for sure if like some new customers, or maybe it was a new coach. Maybe that's what, when somebody signed up as a coach, they got.
New coaches, I believe, get 3 codes that they have to use for 30 days.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I think that's the right time. I know I had a new coach recently who got codes.
Cool.
I'm assuming that's like a new practice. That wasn't this case. I mean, that wasn't when Christine and I signed up, but I think since they started doing promo codes in the last however long, 6-9 months, we've been doing promo codes. That's a feature they roll out. So like you sign a coach today, I think that they have until 5/29 or May 29th to, they get 3 $10 off codes. But then the same thing like Christina said, like if I'm hurting to hit Success Club, I'll say, oh, join my flash sale or like promo. Like I'm gonna, I will throw in a headband or a gift card or whatever to get someone to sign up certain months.
Okay. Well, I wasn't for sure, and I kind of wanted more information on that, like, so that if I could use that to explain to some of them, like, look, you can give this to your friends, and yeah. Thanks, girls.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the questions. It makes our call much more entertaining.
Good, because I had like a whole bunch of them, and like things just started coming out, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's okay. We like it.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right.
Not
Awesome.
now that I'm on the call, but it'll.
Well, ask away. The group's open. We'll send out this recording, and then where to find us. So
Okay.
definitely don't ever hesitate to ask your questions either.
So is all of this stuff on here going to stay up? So like to come back and look through it, we can still do that? Okay.
Yeah, we won't close it out.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yay.
You guys rock.
We do.
All right. Have a good Friday Eve.
I'm like,
Wait,
what?
no, it's not even Friday Eve.
Friday.
What?
It's hump day. Have a good hump day.
Say that day.
I don't even know what day it is. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye.